Here is your WESN News on the Hour. I'm Naomi McNish. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. MSJ reaffirms support for Paria tragedy families. Cop cleared in drunk driving case due to missing witness. Gary Griffith responds to UNC COP rally appearance. And internationally, Trump appoints Dan Bongino as FBI Deputy Director. Now for the details. The Movement for Social Justice has renewed its solidarity with the families of the divers killed in the 2022 Paria tragedy. MSJ leader David Abdullah criticized the government and Paria Fuel Trading Company for what he called a lack of accountability, noting that no one has been fired. At a rally, survivor Christopher Boudram endorsed the UNC for the upcoming elections, while attorney Prakash Ramada vowed to seek higher compensation for the families. A police constable accused of being intoxicated while in charge of a police vehicle in 2017 has been acquitted. The Siparia District Court dismissed the case against Constable Dennis Dewar after key evidence was thrown out due to the repeated absence of the charging officer. The judge ruled that the state failed to prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt. NTA leader Gary Griffith says he's not surprised by the UNC, COP, and other opposition groups uniting at a rally marking the 3rd anniversary of the Paria diving tragedy. Griffith dismissed the gathering as political posturing, suggesting COP leader Prakash Ramada is positioning himself for a UNC election seat. The UNC maintains that while the COP is not officially part of its coalition, discussions have taken place. Internationally, U.S. President Donald Trump has named conservative commentator and former Secret Service agent Dan Bongino as the FBI's new deputy director. Bongino, a strong Trump ally, has no FBI experience. He will serve under recently confirmed FBI Director Kash Patel. Critics say the move could further politicize the agency, but Bongino insists his focus is on crime and justice. Well, that's news to the hour on WESN. I'm Naomi McNish. Thanks for watching.
WESN.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Mark Anthony Peter, and welcome to Breakthrough. Thank you for choosing WESN Content Capital. And right, joining me on the Breakthrough table is my co-host, as per usual. I have no adjective to describe him this morning, but as per usual, my co-host, Sean Michael Small. Good morning, Sean.
That's fine. That's fine. You know, there was a very infamous incident one time on a different show where someone, I won't repeat who or what he said. I'll just say, you know, sometimes it doesn't always work out. Not too sure if I told you that story. I may have told you it relatively recently, but I'm not even going to give you hints because technically it would be an injustice if I even hint it. Right?
Okay, fair.
It is what it is.
Fair. Well, how are you?
I'm good. Got to see one of my nephews. Just kind of randomly-ish, you know, life goes on outside of Carnival. People have stuff that they have to do. So, you know, came in, didn't really do anything, you know. Got a wake-up call. Apparently, some restaurants closed down over the Carnival weekend. So if you have any plans, you need to
As in this coming weekend?
Yes,
Oh.
yes, like from Thursday.
No,
right?
no, I'm staying inside. I may do Juve, but I'm staying inside from Friday to
Yeah,
Tuesday.
I don't have any plans to participate in Carnival per se, but it's like you always have to remember, Carnival could affect you. But I was concerned about that when they were going home, so I had them follow me to get to the port.
Right.
Thinking, oh gosh, what happens if the Savannah had a whole some event going on, and you know how that first corner is by Ministry of Health there, right? That could get real messy. Well, now we did see that the kiddies King and Queen was on the avenue, right? And I'm like, I'm thinking, well, this might make more sense. It's easier to bypass that if you're not going to it, as opposed to that Savannah where everybody's kind of locked in, right?
That's sort of a general point for everybody to drive.
Unless you go out of your way to go through Belmont, right?
Yeah, that could be. And as you know, one way in Maraval, one way out.
Yeah, yeah. So, and a lot of places are kind of restrictive like that. So I was concerned about that. But ironically, there was literally no traffic all throughout town, I guess. It was a Sunday. I don't know if people were sleeping because of fets, right? It's funny, there's more traffic now, so I think people are waking up later because of the nighttime activities.
Listen,
there's more traffic now.
The level of minor inconveniences that were happening on the road this morning.
Oh, no, you got the extra special combo, right?
Yeah, because
you got the roadworks on top of.
There's the roadworks, there's the TN Tech, there's the somebody stalled in the middle of the.
That is the best part because I don't know. I mean, I guess it has happened, but it's one of those things where you don't remember it happening. And to say that they were stuck in the middle lane, usually if that happens, it would be like maybe on the Savannah, right? Something like that. One would hope they would pull the car to the side.
The hazards weren't even on.
It may have now stopped.
Nobody was in the car.
Oh, never mind.
So I was a little bit concerned. I was like, this person is in the middle of the road in Elsie.
I understand it's not safe to try to move your car off the highway. Yeah. But it's kind of like people who park, around the Savannah. There is shoulder where you could park, right? And then there are parts of the Savannah of where there is no shoulder. Yeah. There's not even a fourth lane. There's 3 lanes and there is no shoulder. Yeah. Right? And in fact, that same first turn coming out from before that by the corner by Holy Name there. That same first turn before the main gate to go back by into the Savannah by the paddock there where all the food will be or whatever, right? When it's just the food,
right? Ooh.
Cars at night would park there. Yeah. So now it's one thing if I have some old car and I don't care if anybody hit it by accident because they'll just replace me a car and whatever. Right. But again, it's another thing if you're like borderline, like the line now start to curve in because we run out of space, right? But well past the line, somebody had a nice white Mercedes or BMW, I can't remember whatever, but it was like a very expensive car. I never park in those spots. I am actually cognizant of when I park normally, am I sticking out? What if somebody touches me? Like, is there enough room? Like all of these things. So to say I'm gonna park where there is no shoulder, and it's essentially, unless you're looking ahead on the corner, you're not necessarily going to see, hey, you need to merge because some idiot is parked literally in the lane, and it's a Mercedes. It was white or silver, something like that, right? I'm just like, this is just...
Saying all that to say, folks, please be safe on the roads.
Especially
for Carnival, please.
So if you stall in the middle of the highway, I think you should reconsider not leaving your car in the middle of the highway.
Please. Call for... On top of that, during the traffic, there was an ambulance that was passing in the middle. Like,
oh, Lord.
And it wasn't even to anybody, nothing that was in my path, to something else. So like, there's a lot going on.
You always have to ask, do you really have an emergency or are you stuck in traffic and you're trying to get out of it?
I think most of the time they have an emergency.
I'll say this.
I would hope so.
When I'm going towards Port of Spain General Hospital in Savannah and there's an ambulance, I'm not going to assume that person is just using the lights to get through.
Now, I would like to ask a question because maybe as I'm getting older, my hearing is a little bit gone. But some of the ambulances and all of these vehicles that have sirens, you don't hear them as far as you used to. Maybe it's just me and my hearing. I don't know if that's a thing for
You
anybody else.
are an artist and a music teacher, and you're saying your hearing is shot before you even reach 30?
I just wanted to make sure that it's not me because I only heard it like maybe like 2 or 3 cars behind me. Usually you hear it from way beyond.
Folks,
and I'm
folks.
like, am I the problem?
So there are potential explanations for it.
I'm
One,
the problem, it's me. I don't know.
the pianist / artist / musical director is losing his hearing. And I guess
God forbid.
that's why he has, you know, a secondary backup option called television.
Wow!
Right? Now, with that said,
The disrespect.
didn't I say that maybe he was trying to make it out of traffic? And maybe you didn't hear the siren because it wasn't on until it got close to you.
Quite possibly.
So, also there's the potential fact, although I think this would be less of a factor on the highway because it's so open, that depending on how much traffic you have and the vehicles, and if you're in Savannah where there's a lot of trees, right? By the magnificent, yeah, sound dampening, and
But this is on the highway.
or because the highway is open, maybe the open air, you know, live performances in open air, the sound is gonna just.
No, but of a certain frequency, they tend to. I'm just losing my hearing.
Listen, I don't know.
You know what it is? It's this earpiece that I have in my ears. Fine. So anyway, moving swiftly along from
It's
that.
not in your left ear.
It's in my strong ear.
Well, that's your strong ear.
I have a strong and a weak ear. It's always been that.
Meanwhile, he's probably gonna go to Juve, folks, right? And lose his hearing all over again. Maybe that's what happened. The last time we were on Juve, it was one too many music trucks.
Well, listen, possibly.
Anyway, before we.
But there is something, as you mentioned. So, but it could be that I'm tired because, you know, uncle meaning me, was out last night. He was outside.
Or your uncle now?
Yes, because
Okay,
halfway,
who's calling you uncle?
a lot of people.
Not
They're like a couple, I know who you are.
Not
a couple
nephews
UE
and
students
nieces.
are like, Uncle Mark, I'm like, stop. Stop it right now.
yes, welcome to the old club. Where we're
I
old.
was like, I've not been called that in a long time.
Wait, you were called that? Well, yes, because of small children.
Yes,
I understand.
thank you very much.
Right, but still, welcome to
But anyway.
when people that are no longer teenagers call you uncle, that's when you know you've arrived in your own personal hell that's shared by many.
And you know what's the problem? We were having this particular individual always calls me Uncle Mark. She was talking and she's like, don't
Do I
worry.
know her?
No, you don't. She's like,
Oh
don't
gosh, you need to introduce me so I can
No,
give
shut
her a
up.
gift or
No.
something.
So she's
Give
like,
us
don't
suitable
worry,
reward.
I just go to class and just do my assignments. And then she like tried to impersonate me. And you know how when you impersonate like a parent or something, you always put on this old voice. I was like, yeah, whatever. And she did that. I was like, I am only 28. It's not that serious.
I never got hit with the old voice.
And a friend who's 2 years younger than me does it too. I'm like, relax yourself.
I swear, I was anticipating a joke I did not expect when they speak in an old voice. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They mocked me in an old uncle voice. So anyway, uncle was outside. He went to Freetown Collective's concert
By the
last
way,
night. It was great.
There's only 2 uncles I know of that are university called Unc. Shannon Sharp, who's 50-something, and Snoop Dogg, who's 50-something. So the fact that culturally...
I am beyond. You always say I'm always, you know, impressive for my young
Culturally-
age. Maybe I'm no longer impressive because I'm getting older.
I mean, you're losing hearing already.
Exactly. But yes, I was outside. I was on my feet for a while, my knees and my feet. Whew, almost gave out. But I was at Freetown Collective's concert last night, and it was amazing all the time. Every year. This is my 3rd year in a row going to it. And something pretty amazing happened. So first thing is, Freetown's, they've always been about, first of all, their artistry is great. Their performance is always amazing. And they're always on the spirit of one love and the spirit of collaboration. So they also had a lot of guest artists there. So they had Michael Tasia, they had Pretty, Kuten, College Boy Jesse, and the legend himself, David Rudder. So this is the second time that I've seen him since his, announcement. Because I saw him last year at Eddie and Charles's concert when he just made a surprise appearance. I was like, oh my gosh. And he made a point, David Rudder, he made a point about, he was singing the line, "There is a Rising." And he was so impressed with the level of attendance at like Panorama and all of these things that are happening. And the fact that, and the lead singer, Mohammed Mawaki of Freetown, he said that it's great that we always need to honor those that came before us, and that we need to continue to carry it, but also in our own unique way. And I think I saw that happen before my eyes last night. And I just think it's a great thing. And the reason I'm bringing this up, we started off this season with talking about is not just calypso, but there are some elements of the culture dying. And from last night, and I could see the pride in David Rudder's eyes, because he's like, I've never seen so many people in the stands supporting Panorama, all of those things.
Right.
He's never seen. When I had the two guests on, one of them included Aaron Duncan, about the Kaiso dynasty, which was the Kaiso 10, now the Kaiso dynasty. And, I've been seeing a lot of push on social media for it. And people have been I've been seeing comments, people have been enjoying it. So I'm like, is maybe we are just in a transitional period where it is becoming something, and we are kind of taking it into our own hands a little bit.
Yes, Kendrick slayed the dragon.
Oh my God.
That was the joke. But to some extent, I do wonder if there's actually like a translatable cultural thing where the need to go away from just the commercial stuff now, like at some point you're fed up of it, and authenticity matters. Maybe that's one of the reasons why soca has its stumbling blocks. At times, it might go through a cycle where, commercialization versus authenticity and innovative or inspiring new creations and creativity, that kind of like push and pull and goes through it causes an ebb and flow maybe. And my only thing is, I understand that, of course, we've spoken about calypso and if it's kind of dying and whatnot on various shows on the network that you and I have been a part of together. My only thing though is, and maybe this is unfair because we speak about this off air, David Rudder, I think, is the last household name of calypso.
Okay.
Right? Maybe that's how, but I didn't put it that way before off air, but that's how, the last household name. That is to say, there's a reasonable expectation that a large, diverse cross-section of the population will know his name.
Right.
And I don't think we've had that, like someone like that after him. And maybe, as we discussed, that's me being unfair trying to compare regular greats to a generational legend. But, and you know what, I think now, maybe what has also kind of changed the nature of the game is the fact that music education has allowed for more properly trained and authentic performers and not just amateurs that kind of go professional because of commercial success. Right. Come out into the field now. Because to some extent, back in the day, Rudder, Marshall, Montano, they put a lot of work in to get where they got, right? But yes, that is one thing that maybe Freetown, Chris Joseph, I mean, it's harder now because of the media landscape. Right. But I think deservedly, with regards to getting that acknowledgement, they should be up there, maybe not necessarily on Mr. Rudder's level yet, but they're young, they have time to create that body of work and that career and that legacy. You could see the trajectory that they're on.
Right. So I think there are a couple of factors that we need to take into consideration. One, you mentioned the media landscape. I think over the years, obviously, we've had a lot more competing things.
Yes.
A lot more internationally competing things, right? Not to put down, anybody's efforts before then, but that's just the circumstances of today, right now, right? That's one. Two, I think the pool is much larger.
Yes.
Of how many people that we do have. I think, but in addition to that, I think there was a period in time where maybe it was too commercial. I don't know. I'm not probably not old enough to remember, but maybe it was too commercial. But what I am seeing now, just based on my own personal experiences, is a level of artistry that is really amazing. That is taking the culture very much forward. So you have Tizay O'Connor, who we had on Carnival of last year. He was the Calypso Monarch winner last year, right?
The year before.
It
was the year before? He didn't
year
defend
before.
his crown
Oh, yeah,
yet.
the
Yes.
year before. Oh, yes, we're in 2025. That is true. Ooh, yeah, uncle. So, so yeah, in 2023.
Uncle, I think you need to take some CoQ10 or Mega XL or something.
Some zinc or something. I don't know. Something is going on. But the rest.
For sure.
But yes, so 2023, and he came up with a calypso this year called, I think it's called Kaiso to the World, and it's amazing. It's an amazing song. He comes to mind. Amazing people like Aaron Duncan also comes to mind of the good artistic work that he's doing. Karina Shea. All of these people who are taking calypso and the soca and just the art form on a whole. Because if you think about Freetown, they're not specifically one genre.
Right.
Right? They span, a host of things.
I mean, one of the songs we showed, I think at Carnival on the boat, that kind of reminded me of some old school Ronnie McIntosh kind of.
We love a sea shanty.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's those things where it's maybe we had what we had then, and it's just evolving now. And I think people always have their own perspective and ideas of how it should evolve, as opposed to realizing that the artistry of it all, it's a living, breathing thing, and it will evolve on its own. We just have to make sure that we are authentic and genuine and very well intentioned of how we deliver.
I find it's very amazing because I've criticized GATE not being implemented properly. We did this we educated the population. We don't see the results of that. We can't say we could feel the results of that. Having a more educated population where people are still, functionally illiterate as adults in this day and age. But the one thing I think might actually be, and to some extent it may be by accident, but we'll take the wins we can get it. One of the real positive things out of GATE is what it did to the arts community, because that larger and better trained pool of individuals allows both for the fact that there's more people with university degrees in music, but also just more people, right, in the talent pool. That peak of the top end of who you have is going to be higher. And then there are going to be more people at each level filtered down. So the quality is going to be there.
And I will like to add to that, as a result of that, you have a lot more not just artists coming out of these programs, but music educators being in those organizations, those community organizations that sort of help train.
Yes.
Right? It's not just on our tertiary level education.
That could help be part of the cultural, socio-cultural teaching.
Exactly.
Because the art is tied to it. I mean, just at the Kiddies, Kings and Queens yesterday, forgive me if I got the title of the competition wrong, there was a Dame Lorraine on stilts. Now, granted, stilts, I don't believe it's traditional Dame Lorraine, but the point is one of the girls, she dressed up like a Dame Lorraine. Dame Lorraine, sorry. No, it's not Dame, it's Dame. The pronunciation is Dame? Oh, sorry, I'm using the English pronunciation.
Oh, look at you.
We are English colony, okay?
I'm so sorry.
We're not French.
Listen to me.
We don't eat frogs.
Wow.
We do eat black pudding, so, We used to drink...
We drink sparkling wine.
we used to drink... Listen, we used to drink tea. Now we drink coffee.
I still drink tea.
We have essentially... We shed the yoke of British colonialism and willfully sold ourselves to American imperialism. I'm making a joke. This is not talking point.
He is. He is very much so. That's not breakthrough, please. But no, I like my tea. Ooh, I'm really old.
I didn't even realize that I set my trap card and then he played right into it.
Yeah, I'm like, because I was decided, I like my ginger, turmeric tea and my peppermint tea with no sugar and stuff like that.
Think about it. Most young people, what do they drink? Unless they're singers that have to worry about their throat, they're just gonna drink coffee.
I drink rum every time.
No, I'm talking about hot drinks, Mark. So he's an old alcoholic that's losing his hearing.
Wow! No! don't know how to. I just okay. Anyway,
I mean, you know, I just saw. Oh gosh, is it Gabriel Iglesias Fluffy? He had a set about country music. Like no matter what happens, country music. Like he used to look down on country music until he realized there's going to be a country music song out there for you to speak to your life. So now the question is, when will we get, or when will we get a calypso? Because you know calypsos talk about society, right? When the calypsonians going to be like, not just the horn parts about all the fun and games stuff, but you know, I'm old, I lost my hearing, she left me, the rum bottle's empty, you know?
I don't appreciate what you're implying. I really don't. I really don't. But back to the topic.
But David Rudder was there.
Yes, and it was amazing. I did cry because I was.
You said he was a legend because
Yes.
I don't view this as a disparaging situation. But if you could give us the anecdote of when he was on stage.
He came, and I think when he came on stage, first of all he just walked on stage, everybody went wild. And there was a sense of...
They knew who he was.
Yes, and it was a sense of... I think one of the few moments I've actually experienced is any sort of deep national pride, right? And it's like, this is what... Because it's one thing, and I think it's because it's one of those things where when something is always in your face, you kind of take it for granted.
Yes.
And then when it goes away for a little bit and then you just see it come on, it's like...
Or you've had to live without it.
You had to live without it, and it just kind of comes, and it's like, this was great. And I did kind of get a little bit teary because I also have a close family member who is a musician and also, kind of suffers from Parkinson's as well. So it's a kind of a deep thing for me to experience. But the fact that he was just able to come on, deliver, and just the visual, just the experience of all of and Freetongue's concerts is multi-generational, the audience is multi-generational. And just to see all of these people, like, there was a child that I taught there. But it's one of those places that is a family, shut up. That's a family affair for a lot of people. So you have this multi-generational, shut up, Sean. So you have this multi-generational audience paying homage to this great, and this great is also being backed up by all of the members of Freetown, the band, the backup singers, the lead singers, and all of these things. It was just something so great and so amazing to see, and it was just a magical experience.
But I mean, he was still suffering Parkinson's. But he was defiant. You told me he was standing tall.
Yeah,
he didn't want us to use the stool that they gave him.
Yeah, he was great. He was
Now,
amazing, and I just thank you.
We need to take a break because we're going to slightly switch gears. Well, depending on your point of view, and maybe we could talk. Maybe this is a new innovation that we're going to see coming up, right?
Yes,
however, before we leave this segment, I just want to say for all of those of you who are friends of Mark out there, this is, when we get to maybe April the 1st, you might want to consider getting some gray kind of spray on hair, just, for the whole uncle look. If you can catch him and take a photo, I'll appreciate it. Me to you, yeah. Uncle Mark, everybody, Shawn Michael Small. We'll be right back. We'll be right back after this.
audits, radiographer, and the radiology departments at the community hospital. We offer high-quality service with state-of-the-art equipment in X-ray, ultrasound, CT, and mammogram. Come, our friendly staff awaits you.
Give us a call at 235-5479.
The Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist,
Where good private health care is affordable.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1. Find the style number on the tag. Step 2. Match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3. Search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide. Center City Mall, Chaguanas, and Movietown, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
Folks, we're back and better than ever.
Your show have always appeared to be a show that is focused on going to the cause or looking to the cause.
We hardly ever talk about the white-collar crime, though. We always talk about the ones that involve more as physical violence against individuals.
The citizens will only measure transmission when water starts to flow through their taps.
The Constitution doesn't talk about local election.
Contract mafia that's responsible for looting the country, and they own and operate these politicians.
So if you are running a country and you can't say nothing as a prime minister, please take up your bag and go.
It is not comparative to the murder figures, but it is in fact very high.
I believe he's protecting certain individuals.
You are watching Strictly Legal on WESN Content Capital. Just give an overview of what exactly is that split arrangement.
It is now you don't need to register nothing. You don't need. We can do that another time. But then it becomes a hit, and then everybody starts to want to claim.
The laws that predate many of the independent countries' constitutions are going to be those colonial laws.
We know there are an infinite amount of circumstances that would lead to a murder.
I have a great idea and I have a great concept, but until it's actually expressed, it does not become intellectual property.
Accomplishments or targets of a forensic accountant is to quantify what may have been lost.
We believe we defend criminals and we manipulated the law and we exploited the system.
A responsible journalist will reach out to the person who they have the information on for a comment.
We are tackling the hard-hitting topics, some controversial topics, some topics we sweep under the rug.
You don't always have to forgive in a relationship for it to move forward.
If it is you are in a situation where you forgive the person, but to the detriment of yourself, what are you really doing?
It is very uncommon for somebody in the younger age group to have dementia.
Atheists don't not believe.
Is that I can't disprove God, but you also can't prove God, so we cannot have a stalemate.
You'll focus on the woman who's being the victim,
right,
or the man who's being the victim. We exclude the children.
Folks are trying to study the underlying brain mechanism to figure out how does this particular disorder happen in the brain? How is the brain processing this?
Don't worry about AI. Worry about humans working with AI.
Are you willing to learn new skills to stay relevant for the future job market? That's the challenge that people are going to struggle with.
Pastor Jay, I want to get a tattoo.
You really want
to me. Respond to me how you would respond to me.
The first question I'll ask is why.
Controversial taboo topics.
We get so consumed by church, we forget that we have to live the life of being a Christian outside of the Sunday.
Like you say, we think going to a service makes us a Christian.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So we are about to hear the second time Pastor Jay wanted to take a tattoo.
Would have been
late last year and early this year.
Oh gosh. Hope Unfiltered podcast with Pastor Jay and Ren.
Hello there and welcome to AM Prime on WESN Content Capital. Before we even start this repatriation and reintegration process that we've already failed, or are we doomed to fail?
You've got to invest in the institutions that you've established to carry out those sorts of core functions.
We now get into the regional updates to give you an understanding of what's happening across our neighboring islands.
We have available a number of films that are worth showing.
So it was day one when the French Revolution started to develop the concept of universal human rights.
What happened this time is unprecedented. It's one of the largest terrorist attacks in history.
Let's welcome Carl to the program. Carl is over there, next to Insta. Hello, Carl.
Silky anteater or pygmy anteater, and we have 2 of the 3 species of anteaters right here.
And welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago, to Breakthrough. My co-host is still here.
Yes. I'm not going to say it again.
Great. Lovely.
Yes.
But we have also...
by the way, I'm blinking twice because I am a hostage currently.
He is not. He is not. He is here on his own free will. I don't know what's going on
Am
with
I?
him. Yes, you are. But anyway, moving swiftly along from you. I always have to move on from you for some strange reason. Get it together. It's 2025 is a new year. Anyway, so joining us at the Breakthrough table, we have our spotlight guests, and they are the...
Okay, I did say this is something new, like not necessarily at its core, but even there's a unique aspect of them that I just did not expect, at least not to meet in real life or to see ever again. A 2-man metal band, which is legit, right? Don't think that there's anything reduced just because there's only 2 men on stage. We are, of course, speaking of the one and only Clavium.
Good morning. How are you all doing?
Good morning.
So the obvious question, if it hasn't been asked, well, there will be people who have not seen the answer yet. Why 2?
Why 2? Because multiple times in the past we tried other guitarists, bassists, even a drummer, and none of them had the dedication that we had to push the music where we wanted it to go.
So if you had another drummer, you would have played a different instrument, you're multi...
Possibly.
Bass?
No, I'm not. But I wanted to play bass
when
we started, and we had a drummer and he ditched us, so I...
Well, you just like, I'll switch.
Yeah.
Listen, this is something you hear every day. It's like, I'll just switch instruments for the sake of the band. No problem.
So how did Clavium start, and what has the journey been like thus far?
Clavium really began since 2006. We were Avatar before.
Okay.
Right, so we would have had another member, another guitarist, but that didn't work out well, and we rebranded as Clavium when during 2015, because we tried to get airplay in Sweden, but due to copyright, that couldn't happen. There was a Swedish band called Avatar as well.
Okay.
So the radio station was like, well, what's going on here? Right? So we decided, all right, we need to change our name and have a unique name that could be known globally, because that is what we were aiming at. To put Trinidadian metal into the international stage. Right? And like be known that, all right, Trinidad have metal music. Right.
It does. So now we here, and we're going to talk about your event in a bit. But what inspired you all to sort of just get started with this?
Well,
I'm always interested in the story.
The music itself, we were born into metal music. So Yeah, from the age of 4 or 5, we were already hearing our music, already headbanging. We kind of gravitated more towards it during like 7, 8 years old.
Right.
And as teenagers, we realized here that's the music that not hurting you, that not causing you problems. So we gravitate towards it, and the music is more describing the universe, life, society. Is not the jump and wave lyrics or anything like that. It's real issues, real things.
And technically, no love songs really, right?
No.
It's kind of weird, but it's
typical love song.
Yeah.
We never wrote any love songs or ballads or anything.
But
like
it's kind of true. As much as people might not necessarily identify with the lyrics, metal songs, they are about bigger concepts. You know, I guess it's one of those things where I don't know how many people have actually looked to, unless those who are writing in the genre, take any time to think about it that way, because I've listened to metal songs. And yeah, you know, you hear Enter the Sandman, that's not a ballad. that's not a jump and wave, right? So, but I found it interesting, you said you were introduced to this as a child, so it was your parents?
Yeah, our parents and basically everyone around us at the time was into heavy metal and rock music, and that is from the late 80s through the 90s.
It's just that I've never met people of a generation that much older than me
into the metal
that was into metal. Maybe rock, but you're talking like, you know, it's not the same thing.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so like this is kind of cool. The only people I know that's into metal are people maybe my age and younger. So I'm like, wow, I didn't necessarily expect that to happen. But once again, yeah, parents kind of the legacies and the influence. Yeah,
they did.
Okay, so what I want to find out is, with every genre, there is its own, is part of the greater artistic industry in Trinidad and Tobago. What is the metal industry like, just based off of your own experiences, and obviously other artists that you would know? Do you feel like it's insular? Do you think like a lot of people know about it? How would you describe it to somebody?
Well, in terms of Trinidad, the scene is not well known. There are fans in different parts of the country, some from Mayaro, Toco, San Fernando, well, throughout different places. But all of them don't know that people gather at this venue or that venue. There's a show happening now or next month or later in the year. Most people don't know that. I guess that could be down to advertising or how it's portrayed. We don't really get much airplay on radio or anything, right? So that is very difficult. Outside of Trinidad and Tobago, on the global scene, it's much wider. Yeah. Metal is actually growing every year faster. It's one of the fastest growing genres at the moment. The Caribbean also has a scene. Jamaica has metal, Guyana, but Trinidad is like the hub of metal music in the Caribbean right now. Right? So I would basically say it's the capital of metal in the Caribbean.
I guess because it's more established?
Yeah, it's more established. It has more bands than some of the countries. Yeah, even Suriname, all these countries have bands, but Trinidad has the most.
Right.
And we have the crowd and audience to go with it.
Okay, so, just based on, you know, and comparatively in terms of our scale, our population, we have a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
But like, so I take it you all do original music, you all want international airplay, so you all aren't just a cover band, because a lot of rock bands, I don't know if they go beyond that point. And I guess this is where you said the dedication, because we spoke before, right? This is a full-time thing for y'all. This is not the nighttime hobby that you'll kind of just do on the side.
You have to be into for.
Yeah.
It's 24 hours. We push it all the time. We would have discussions every day about how we're going to proceed, where's the plans for the next few years, plans for the next 10 years, these kind of things.
And I'll just say, the people working with you, you know, I've seen a lot more coming out of, shout out to that little lady over there. I've seen a lot more come out of her than we've seen from the team around, you know, people in more, let's just say, more established genres in the local music scene, if that makes sense. So, I mean, and it's incredible what she's documented. We have some photos that you all sent us. I want to show these photos, if you can, Mile, because I don't know if we could see it. I mean,
Oh my God.
Did you take them out, by the way? No, okay, yeah, but like when you see it, it looks to some extent. This is like a professional promotional shot. If you could just cycle through, so we could. Yeah, there it is.
There we go.
There it is.
There we go.
Right, you kind of feel the genre and the emotion of it coming out there.
Yes.
And could you tell us where these were taken? Do you remember?
So the one with me is in Kaiser Blue Cafe.
Right. Does not look
That's
like.
when it was there. Where it is now?
Where it is now.
Oh, it is now. Okay, cool.
These was an event, Metal Maze, we played year before. This one, I'm not sure.
I think some of the pictures was taken by Damien Lang and Nicole Tang.
This was Satish Ramsad.
Yeah, Satish Ramsad.
Yeah.
So a lot of times y'all don't have like anyone else join y'all. Y'all are literally just we two man in it for the whole set.
On stage, yeah, for sure. Unless it's maybe like a collaboration to do something for something specific.
Right. Yeah. Maybe you join with another band or something.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you saw any clips, but I saw a clip, and I'm just like. I mean, you know they say about pentatonics, 5 people, how does it sound so full? It's 2 people! How is this so?
No,
right?
there's so much, and in the artistic world, there's so much beauty in just something that seems simplistic, but you could fill it, and it's amazing. From some of the clips that I saw, it was absolutely great.
Now, to be fair, there are other drummers around the world. Not to put you down, but there are other drummers, like once you get to a certain point, you could beat all, you could have like a kit that is way too much and somehow they incorporate it, but it's metal, so you're like incorporating it at 1,000,000 miles an hour right through, right? That's why you're so thin. Your cardio is so much better than mine. But then your brother here is kind of basically all the guitars in one plus the vocalist. And I just would like to know, how does your brain kind of keep both things going at the same time? Because it's not like you're doing like one little guitar. No. You're like all the guitars, right?
It is just happen on stage. On stage, it's a different person. I just transform into something different. It's just really a vibe. I don't think about the lyrics. I don't really think about what I'm playing at that time. That is where the practice in the band room comes in. So any of these stages, you're just focusing on the audience or wherever your mind you have in your mind at that point.
Yeah. So I have a question, because you said that we have a lot of metal bands here in Trinidad and Tobago. I firmly believe that for any sort of for the artistic industry to thrive on any level, it needs to have some level. It needs to have a level of collaboration. Yeah. Do you all have in the metal genre, in the metal industry? Do you all have that happening where you may play with be a guest artist on another band's concert, or you are a guest artist in somebody else, that sort of thing happening?
Yeah, we try to do that as much as possible, because everyone don't really have the same resources at the given time. Mm-hmm. So pulling together and collaborating makes it better. It makes the community a little stronger as well. And it have now a few upcoming bands as well. Every year you might get like 2 bands coming, new bands coming out. We see new younger audience now as well. Okay. So it's kind of growing on that level. And in terms of collaboration, you don't really see bands collaborating with promoters. That is an issue you really have as well. The promoters, they're not really pushing it to the extent.
Is it the industry is kind of too? Because I think the music industry has yet to really develop in certain ways, and maybe it's just too immature. A lot of promoters don't really kind of see the whole product and the concept and the art behind it, like how I guess y'all would.
Yeah, it's true, because the majority of the public still think metal or rock music is devil music.
Well, to that point, because y'all did say, y'all were introduced to the music young, and it didn't make y'all turn out to be bad guys. I mean, folks, think about it. When you hear them speak, these 2 soft-spoken gentlemen, do they sound like what you would expect hard-rocking metalheads to sound like? And it's there on stage. It's like literally, they both hulk out, and then, when it's over, I guess, You know, just Clark Kent. You know, Clark Kent all over again.
Wow, what a reference.
You know, right back down. You know, it's like because the transfer, like the economy is amazing, which is one reason why you should go check out the upcoming show. More on that later. But yeah, I mean, they still have that stigma because I would think part of it is just rock music on a whole. You know, it's not soca. You know, I mean, you could lump rock, jazz, you could take just about everything else, classical and music theater, they kind of have their own space. Yeah. But everything else that's a band, it's almost like if, well, we don't really know what to do with it. Do y'all get that sense? On top of the stigma of heavy metal and all of that?
Not really. We know what we need to do.
Well, I know you all know, but I mean like promoters and venues and stuff like that.
I think to the extent well, we can't really speak for them.
Right.
But metal is not something evil or bad or anything. It's just where you think it is, right? Just like any song. Take for instance, dancehall music, wesn music, right? The metal bands here, we don't have guns in our songs. We don't talk about guns, nothing like that, right? Maybe some bands in other countries, maybe, but in Trinidad, we really talking about ourselves, situations that happen, scenarios, real life, and we portraying that maybe the vocals might sound frightening, but most people or everybody watch our movie at some point. Some people like it, some people don't. So I'll reference it to that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, no, just the vocals, I get it, but there's like a girl group in Japan called Baby Metal. So, you know, it's like, you know, what you think the genre is could be so much expanded if you're willing to, and this is the thing, like, to think about it. Y'all have this genre, yes, it's from abroad, but now what is it that y'all could possibly give, what our culture could give to a different genre, not just, oh, soca calypso.
Right. But so now what we want to do is actually talk about the event that you'll have coming up. If we could just pull up the flyer right there. For us, Metal Carnival. Can y'all just sort of tell us about this event and what some people can expect with this?
Okay, so Metal Carnival is on the 1st of March. It was supposed to be at Planners Sports Bar in San Fernando, but due to unforeseen circumstances, we had to change the venue. So now it's at Rick's Rock Bar in Curep. Doors open at 7:30 p.m. It's 100 at the door. If you have had purchased tickets before for when the event was at Planners, that would still be accepted, or we would refund it based on if you can't make it to the venue or whatever the case may be. We would be having, we would headlining. The other bands are Abyss, Tad, and Tremor.
Okay.
Right? They are all bands who existed a while now in the scene as well. Yeah, and this is the first time a metal event is carded as Metal Carnival. It's literally the Saturday before Carnival, so yeah, I mean, come out and support.
There are people who don't necessarily want to be involved, in part because, look, them carnival events just too crowded, man. And this is a chance to, I mean, we hope that it'll be crowded, but it's not going to be like, oh my gosh, there's a line that's going to take me an hour to get through because somebody didn't know to open up more doors in the Oval. We won't talk about that Tuesday event several carnivals ago, maybe 10 years or so.
That was a long time ago.
It was, but it made news. How bad it was. I don't want to call him a boy, but anyway.
So what I want to find out in terms of the title of the event, why Metal Carnival? Now it kind of seems...
You can speak for yourself, but is there more to it?
Is there more to it is the question.
Metal Carnival, because in Trinidad we celebrate Carnival, right? But is a fusion of cultures, right? Carnival. Trinidad is a multicultural country, but yet it only have really how many genres of music in Carnival that people is be listening to Monday and Tuesday. Why not metal as well? Right? It's something to think about because it's a multicultural country, but you only have like probably two genres in Carnival, maybe. That not really making sense to be a multicultural society and a multicultural event. So that is really my take on it.
There are parallels. Calypso, it was commentary. Metal, we've already kind of established. It might not be commentary in the same way, but it's still, it's not that dissimilar lyrically when you get it.
Take for example, Old Mass, right? That could be incorporated into metal music easily. Right?
I mean, yes, it can.
Easily, yeah.
Yes, it can. I won't spell it out, but given the Old Mass characters, yes, it can. But you made me think, what if, Lil Wayne had Party Like a Rock Star. He had his beat was basically based on metal, electric guitar, right?
Yeah.
So, to what extent now, yes, they might use electric guitars in soca tracks, but why not cross that culture? And really now get influence. It's not just use the instrument, because a guitar, like a piano, it could go in so many different directions, but it's something, I guess you could say, untapped. Because it also, there is a section of the population that, it's when Aerosmith and Run DMC, right, they did Walk This Way. Like you get that infusion of fans of different vultures. Of different cultures.
Fans of different cultures, yes.
Right,
Shawn Michaels.
Okay, I had my uncle moment. You happy, Mark?
2025.
Right? Yeah, so then now your fans become their fans become your fans, and I guess now the question is, I don't know if any soca artists would be willing, we may have some metal artists that are willing, and listen, it's just two guys, you can fit them on stage, easy, and they'll fill all the song.
Correct. So just as we're about to head out, what I want to find out from you all, so we're here now, you kind of described the journey so far for us. What do you all look forward to for the future?
Well, more touring internationally.
Yes.
We're writing new music. We want to release our EP and album coming out possibly next year. And we're working on establishing more contacts for outside Trinidad, right? And hopefully that could inspire more bands to want to achieve something greater than just being a local band. Get registered, become a national performing artist, and try and pave the way from there. Because when we now started, we didn't know about registering. The information is there, but it's not readily available to everyone.
I didn't know to look for that sort of thing.
Have a free drinks event planning right now, so everyone can look forward to that this year.
And where can people find you? Like on social media?
Social media, at Clavium, that's Klavium, on all social media.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen. It was great.
Just the fact that
I'm excited.
Just the fact that it's a two-man band, I have high hopes, because that alone is there are not many two-man bands in the world.
That works so well.
And I guess in this digital age, there may be certain ways to kind of get you all connected out there. And who knows, maybe a collaboration might get somebody soca out there more. You never know, you kind of take some. We have local, we don't need foreign rock stars. We have local rockers who could kind of, help collaborate and bridge the gap.
Take it to the world.
Take it to the world.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was great. Please just remember to check out their event coming up on 1st of March, right? Metal Carnival, right?
That's this Saturday, right?
That's this Saturday. Check it out. It's happening in Carib. They have their contact information. You can email them as well. Keep up to date with all of their social medias. So thank you so much, Trinidad and Tobago, for joining us, fellow uncle.
Speak for yourself.
Hey.
All right.
You are quite older than me, okay?
This two-man show needs to sign out now.
Have a wonderful week, everybody. Have a safe carnival. Please be safe on the roads. Yes. And if you need to be outside, have a great time, enjoy our culture. Be safe if you're staying inside, like I am. Have a good sleep. All right. Mark Anthony Peter, Shawn Michael Small. This has been Breakthrough. Bye-bye.
WESN.
Here is your